welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be telling you my teen mom story. To start, I got asked why did I choose to have sex. Me and my boyfriend were together for 2 years before I even got pregnant. Yes, we did have sex during the 2 years, but it's not like I had sex one time and then got pregnant at that time. I really don't know why I chose to. I guess it was kind of like everyone else was doing it, so I just did it. My last period was on December 28th, and it rolled into the month of January, like January 5th, January 6th, something like that. So I just thought that I wasn't going to have my period that month because of that. Then it rolled into February. I still had no period. I was talking to one of my friends that was on the bus, and I told her she can get me a pregnancy test because I have not had my period. And me and her laughed together. Like, we were like, "You're not pregnant," and all that stuff. But literally the next day, I went to the doctor because I had high blood pressure. I told them my last time I had my period. They did a pregnancy test, and there it was. I was pregnant. I was 4 weeks pregnant when I found out. My mom was there, so that's how she found out. She was very upset at first. Like, she was asking doctors to give her Xanax, and she was freaking out. But she got up, she gave me a hug. She said, "No matter what, I'm gonna be there for you, and I love you no matter what you do." We went to go take care of my Medicaid paperwork and all of my WIC and stuff. We met with my dad for lunch at China Buffet. I covered my face up and I started crying, and then my mom told him, and he really didn't say much to me. And honestly, probably for the next couple of days, he didn't say anything, but he ended up being very supportive for me. I went to Oasis to get an ultrasound, and for sure I was pregnant. Most teens, they would want to abort, or they would want to give their kid up for adoption. I am not that. I chose to have sex. I chose to lay down. So at that point, I mean, that's my responsibility to take care of my child, even though how young I was. I was 15 when I found out. And 3 weeks later, after that doctor appointment, I went to Oasis, and I was 7 weeks pregnant. Went to my OB, and I got my very first pap smear. It was not fun, just to let you know. The little plastic thing put on you, it hurts, but other than that, I mean. And I also got a vaginal ultrasound because of how I wasn't that far along. I was only 7 weeks when I went. Around 10 weeks, me and my mom, we weren't trying to keep it a secret. I wasn't trying to keep it a secret. I told my closest friends, I told my boyfriend. I wasn't supposed to tell him at that time. My mom wanted to wait to not in the miscarriage zone. So, but I didn't wait. I called him that night and told him, and he really didn't say much. He was more shocked more than anything. Around 10 weeks, me and my mom were kind of waiting to tell people about it because we were trying to get out of the stage of me having a miscarriage. So we decided just to wait. But for some reason, I guess one of my closest friends I told at school told her little friend, and then she told her aunt about it, and then my aunt told another little girl's mom, and she went around her workplace telling people about me being pregnant, how they saw me at the OB/GYN. Just to let you know, an OB is not just a baby doctor. It's there to give you your birth control, for you to have your yearly checkup. So I could have been there for a different reason. She told her daughter about it, who was also pregnant. So I don't get why it was such a big deal about me. I guess because it was shocking for me. I don't know. Me and my mom, we did a live video on Facebook, and that's how we told everyone about my pregnancy. I was very scared because, like, people that stare at me in the hallway at school, it made me feel very insecure. It was just hard for me, really. I went down into a really bad depression stage to where I didn't want to do anything, didn't want to go to school. But around 12 weeks, I started having morning sickness, which was the worst thing ever, just to let you know. It was usually in the mornings I felt very, very sick, and I'd either make myself throw up. Even if I made myself throw up that morning, by the time it got to lunchtime, I still felt pretty sick in my stomach. And I'd throw up the rest of my lunch, and then I'd be hungry for the rest of the day until I got home to eat a snack. At 13 weeks, I went to my OB for my monthly checkup. She said that the baby's head was a lot bigger than an average 13-weeker. So that day I took a Harmony test, which is a blood test to tells you if it has trisomy 13, trisomy 18, trisomy 21. So got that done. A week and a half later, the results came back said he had a very small chance of any of that stuff and that he was also a boy. So that day we did a small ginger grill for Austin's mom and for my parents. We met his mom at Dinner Bell, and I gave a little onesie and it said, it's a, and then I painted it myself, so I painted ahead of time, so I had like a check box beside girl and then a check box and it said boy. And his mom looked at it and she said, is it twins? I looked at her, I was like, no, it's not, trust me. Morning sickness, it lasted until I was 22 weeks pregnant, maybe 20, I really don't remember. And your second trimester, I'm gonna be honest, is your best trimester. I feel like I had a lot of energy. I wasn't sick no more. The heartburn started really bad. I took Tums for it. It usually helped, but sometimes it wouldn't. And then other than that, when I had heartburn, I just went along with my day having it. Then after that, we met up with my mom at Walmart. We are an all-girl family except for my dad. So my mom was very excited. She was screaming everywhere, jumping around everywhere. People were turning around looking at her. But around 18 weeks, I got referred to a specialist in Tupelo. He's a high-risk doctor. And he told us all the things that was wrong with him. It was really hard at that time. We were really upset, but we just went through my pregnancy, doing all that stuff. Every week I had a doctor's appointment. I had a doctor's appointment for my OB, I had a doctor's appointment for my high risk, and then my high risk, he referred me to Le Bonheur Maternal Fetal Medicine. So I went to them also once a month. So I was having 3 appointments a month, and sometimes each week was an appointment. My third trimester came along. I was really big, like, I'm not joking, like, I was really big of how, I guess, little I was compared to when I got pregnant. So it came along, and at that time they call it nesting, so like every 5 minutes I was cleaning something, every 5 minutes I was moving stuff around. I guess around 35 weeks, my amniotic fluid, which is the fluid that surrounds the baby in your belly, it was really high. So like every time I went to a doctor's appointment, you couldn't really tell what was what. You couldn't tell what was the arm, you couldn't tell what was the leg. With my fluid being high, I was supposed to deliver in Memphis. Around 37 weeks, I went to my high risk, and they made my appointment earlier for Memphis. I went to Le Bonheur. I was having really bad high blood pressure. I went to the ER twice, and I have a local ER because of my blood pressure, but they always sent me home. And I went to my high risk, and he kept on saying it was hypertension. I did not have high blood pressure before. Hypertension is to where like it's normal if your blood pressure goes up, or if it goes normal and then it goes up really fast. But for me, it was not like that. I don't know why they kept on saying I had hypertension. I went to Le Bonheur, and that day my blood pressure was really high. So I was admitted to labor and delivery at the Memphis Med, and I stayed there till I think like 3 or 4 o'clock, something like that, or maybe it was 2. But I was put into the FedEx Forum housing that's up there, which is a very lovely place, and I'm very grateful for the hospitality they had for people who need to be in Memphis for free. So the very next day, I went back to the ER because my blood pressure was up again. My head was hurting really bad. Then I stayed in there, labor and delivery, for another few hours that night, and then I got sent back home, nothing. 2 days later, I went into season, and turns out I had pre-eclampsia, but it went to being eclamptic. And you know, some people, they say, oh, well, I had pre-eclampsia too, it wasn't bad. Okay, well, for me, I seized 3 times. About lost my life because the doctors kept saying they wanted to wait until the next day to do anything. That day, on September 20th, I gave birth to my little baby. His name was Tegan Bradley. He lived for an hour and 45. At that point, I was not responsive when he was born. I was in a medically induced coma. I didn't get to hold him while he was alive, but everyone else did. And then they took me off all my medicine. They took me off the breathing tube, and I woke up a few hours later after he was born and asked if I wanted to hold him, and of course I said yes. I held him for a few minutes, and then I took a nap with him. Usually when you have a C-section, you're not there, but maybe 48 hours you're there. but I ended up staying for a whole week because of being on the breathing tube. I had fluid in my lungs. I do not consider myself as a teen mom. I just consider myself as a teenager that got pregnant. But no matter what, even if you had a miscarriage or your baby died after you gave birth, you're still a mother. By heart, you still have that mom feeling. Tomorrow would have been 3 months old. I will be posting videos every week. I would like to thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for subscribing, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all next video.